24. 2006. On most subway trains, the doors open automatically at each station. But when you are on the metro, the subway in Paris, things are different. I watched a man on the metro try to get off the train and fail. When the train came to his station, he got up and stood patiently in front of the door, waiting for it to open. It never opened. The train simply started up again and went on to the next station. In the metro, you have to open the doors yourself by pushing a button, depressing a lever, or sliding them. 25. 2006. I wonder how many people give up just when success is almost within reach. They endure day after day, and just when they're about to make it, decide they can't take any more. The difference between success and failure is not that great. Successful people have simply learned the value of staying in the game until it is won. Those who never make it are the ones who quit too soon. When things are darkest, successful people refuse to give up because they know they're almost there. Things often seem at their worst just before they get better. The mountain is steepest at the summit, but that's no reason to turn back. 26. 2007. I was 5 years old when my father introduced me to motorsports. Dad thought it was a normal family outing to go to a car racing event. It was his way of spending some quality time with his wife and kids. Little did he know that he was fueling his son with a passion that would last for a lifetime. I still remember the awesome feeling I had on that day in May, when my little feet carried me up the stairs into the grandstands at the car racing stadium. 27. 2007. To be a mathematician, you don't need an expensive laboratory. The typical equipment of a mathematician is a blackboard and chalk. It is better to do mathematics on a blackboard than on a piece of paper, because chalk is easier to erase, and mathematical research is often filled with mistakes. One more thing you need to do is to join a club which is devoted to mathematics. Not many mathematicians can work alone. They need to talk about what they are doing. If you want to be a mathematician, you had better expose your new ideas to the criticism of others. It is so easy to include hidden assumptions that you do not see but that are obvious to others. 28. 2008. The first thing I notice upon entering this garden is that the ankle-high grass is greener than that on the other side of the fence. Dozens of wildflowers of countless varieties cover the ground to both sides of the path. Creeping plants cover the polished silver gate, and the sound of bubbling water comes from somewhere. The perfume of wildflowers fills the air as the grass dances upon a gentle breeze. A large basket of herbs rests against the fence to the west. Every time I walk in this garden, I think, now I know what it is like to live in paradise. 29. 2008. In general, one's memories of any period necessarily weaken as one moves away from it. One is constantly learning new facts, and old ones have to drop out to make way for them. At 20, I could have written the history of my school days with an accuracy which would be quite impossible now. But it can also happen that one's memories grow much sharper even after a long passage of time. This is because one is looking at the past with fresh eyes and can isolate and, as it were, notice facts which previously existed undifferentiated among a mass of others. There are things which in a sense I remembered, but which did not strike me as strange or interesting until quite recently. 30. 2009. Many social scientists have believed for some time that birth order directly affects both personality and achievement in adult life. In fact, people have been using birth order to account for personality factors such as an aggressive behavior or a passive temperament. One might say, "Oh, I'm the eldest of 3 sisters, so I can't help that I'm so overbearing," or "I'm not very successful in business, because I'm the youngest child and thus less aggressive than my older brothers and sisters." Recent studies, however, have proved this belief to be false. In other words, birth order may define your role within a family, but as you mature into adulthood, accepting other social roles, birth order becomes insignificant. 31. 2009. You may think that moving a short distance is so easy that you can do it in no time with little effort. You may decide to use your own car because you think that you don't need the services of a moving company. Well, you might be wrong. You are under the false impression that you do not have as many items to pack as you really do. You find out too late that your car cannot carry as much as you thought it could. So, it takes you far more trips to your new home than you thought it would. There is also the possibility of damaging your stuff, some of it valuable. All these things considered, it might be better to ask for the services of a moving company. 32. 2010. While awaiting the birth of a new baby, North American parents typically furnish a room as the infant's sleeping quarters. For decades, child-rearing advice from experts has encouraged the nighttime separation of baby from parent. For example, a study recommends that babies be moved into their own room by 3 months of age. By 6 months, a child who regularly sleeps in her parent's room is likely to become dependent on this arrangement, reports the study. Yet parent-infant co-sleeping is the norm for approximately 90% of the world's population. Cultures as diverse as the Japanese, the Guatemalan Maya, and the Inuit of northwestern Canada practice it. 33. 2010. While manned space missions are more costly than unmanned ones, they are more successful. Robots and astronauts use much of the same equipment in space. But a human is much more capable of operating those instruments correctly and placing them in appropriate and useful positions. Rarely is a computer more sensitive and accurate than a human in managing the same geographical or environmental factors. Robots are also not equipped with capabilities like humans to solve problems as they arise, and they often collect data that are unhelpful or irrelevant.